talking more about me, I like to do ballet like as a hobby, and then in my free time I like to go like to homes and help people, or maybe teach them how to read or any type of thing.
Hi, I'm Andrea Barrios, and I love drawing, and I like to do community service. That's why I'm here with my group. I'm in 10th grade. Right there.
And I'm Nicole Quiles, I'm 15, and I'm a sophomore. And on my free time, I like to read or write. And we usually go to the countryside or the rural areas with my grandfather. So we spend a lot of time with animals, and there are children that live there. And the children do not know the preventions or how, and most of them could get burned easily. So here we are to talk to you about that.
We are from Santa Cruz Cooperative School, SCCS.
In Santa Cruz, Bolivia. So to know a little bit about Bolivia, we're going to show you a video. And this is Santa Cruz. That's a Santa Cruz video.
And now we're going to show you a video about our country, like in a whole.
Yeah, we don't have good audio. I don't know how to get it up on there. Technical difficulties. If we have time, I'll show you the video afterwards. We're gonna just jump over it.
Okay, come on. The situation. So right now I'm going to talk to you and explain to you more about Sarnicam. So Sarnicam is the only center for rehabilitation for burn injuries for kids, rehabilitation for them. It's the only center of that in Bolivia. So it's like the only one in all Bolivia. So we have a lot of trouble in that because a lot of people get burned, a lot of kids get burned in Bolivia, and they suffer from that, and we only have one hospital that is for rehabilitation. They help these children in a gratifying way by making day-to-day compromise with them until they are healed and ready to go and live on a normal life like they should have. Also, Sarnicam is located in Santa Cruz, Bolivia. they have a lot of psychologists and doctors, specialized doctors that provide them with a lot of help.
To summarize what Laura said, Cernicam is the only center that fully rehabilitates kids in Bolivia, like psychologically and physically, because most kids don't like get the correct attendance and they have to later come here. Another thing that Cernicam does is they have like they do special cloths, like in Spanish it's called prendas de comprensión. They are like elastics they put on the kids so that their scars and the sickles, as they call it, won't like expand or affect much the children. And this prendas are usually bought, but they actually manufacture and make them like to the correct size of the kids so they're more efficient. And also, well, as Clara said, it has psychologists and psychiatrists that also take care of it. So statistics. In Bolivia, 43,000 people get burned yearly. And out of those 43,000, 20,000 are kids. 90% of these accidents happen at home, where the kids are supposed to be safe and have at least feel safe and be safe. And out of this percentage, 70% are hot liquids, and by hot liquids I mean like a soup or water or milk that are very common. 20% are from hot coal and fireworks. Fireworks in Santa Cruz and Bolivia in general are very common because we have like many holidays where we use them, like Christmas, New Year's Eve, San Juan, and Carnival, even though most time we don't. Even though there's only 4 holidays we use them, whenever we have like a tournament called a Clásico, if your team wins, you also like throw fireworks, and the kids like are into soccer a lot, so it's a very common thing that they get burned during those times. 5% is by electricity. Like, how many of you have, as a child, tried to put your finger into an electricity socket? Raise your hands. I think most of us. Like, it's very dangerous because you do not know as a kid that there's electricity at the sites, and you like plug in things and nothing happens to them. So you say, oh, nothing happens to me. So most kids just like put their finger in, and it's very serious because you can burn your hand and your mouth, and it spreads through your whole body and can even burn your heart. 3% are hot objects and 2% are others. By hot objects I mean like curling irons, hot irons, and things like that. 2% are like things that aren't available, like a forest fire or something like that. Now, the thing that most shocked us and really made us want to do this project was this percentage. 76% of these accidents can be prevented, and we are working on this.
So what we focus on is prevention. We don't want to prevent all this from ever happening. So we want to so they get scarred, but we want to prevent that scar from ever happening. So that's what we want to focus on. So the children don't ever end up in the hospital. So they know how to be careful and could save themselves from the dangers of burning.
We plan. So how we planned this? First of all, like, we just got in a group and we were deciding what could we do for gym. So we started looking at the things that went wrong in Bolivia, and we got this. So first, we started contacting all the centers and calling till they answer and tell them, like, get into a meeting and explain them and tell them our idea. So after that, they would we would show them our presentation, and then they would tell us if they want or not. And actually, what got us really inspired is that the kids started like really paying attention we wanted to do it more and more because they were really into our project, and that showed us that we were going to make a change, because in Bolivia we needed that change. Another thing we did, like, we went to more than 4 centers, and we spent, like, we had to sacrifice our lunch time and 2 hours of school every day to go to these centers, because we went during their lunchtime so that they could, like, we could, like, give them their presentation, and as a gift they would have their lunchtime.
And that is the hospital we visit. That's Cernicam, the only hospital in Santa Cruz, Bolivia.
The only rehabilitation center. The thing is, Cernicam tells the kids to go to the closer health post to get the cure immediately, and then they come here to rehabilitate and be reinserted into the community. And we went to Cernicam and we found out about the cause and all the statistics we got. We got also, they taught us about the burns and how to teach and how to prevent them. And since we were gonna present to kids, we wouldn't like show all the harsh images to them so they wouldn't get scared. We had to make a strategy and a teaching technique that they will assimilate everything we taught and they would understand and would not be. So first of all, we had to like tone down all the material to simple words and like colorful presentations. We had to have other things to present with, like posters. So we had like many drawings and things like that on the presentation. We also told them that the technique that we were gonna give this presentation to their parents, and that we wanted their advice and ideas on how we could present to their parents. And we told them that we wanted them to present it to their parents. So they learned and they learned how to teach us.
So we had pamphlets and big posters with colorful illustrations and simple words so they could understand and could read over. So, and then a big poster was provided, and it was left on the lunchrooms and the centers. So every time they could go in, they could look at it. And the centers rotate, so not every children goes to the same one, so they have different children every day. So they can look at it and have a better understanding.
We also got some
In Cernicam, they also gave us this, like an example, and this shows everything, like all of their history. So we also took a lot of information from here to guide ourselves in the presentations and everything. As Andrea is passing by, that's one of the things that we passed to the kids so that they could see and have, like, to take to their homes.
And this is a small size of the one we left there because it wouldn't fit them because they're like fit on a plane.
So that was left at the front door of the lunchroom they had.
That's what I explained before.
So now we're gonna show you the PowerPoint that we showed to the kids.
And we're gonna think some of their reactions to it. And we explain that we translated to English for this presentation. And we talk about the kitchen and it's dangerous and how like tips for making the kitchen safer, like tying the oven to the wall and things like that. Because many kids, like the picture here, like climb into the oven and also
That happens a lot in Bolivia.
place the pots with the handles inside because the kids like grab them and it falls over them, and liquids are the one that burns you the worst because they do not stay in one place. Like other fires, they like spread to your whole body and you get burned and the rear burn.
So when having hot liquids on the table, it's better not to have like a cloth, so little children cannot like pull the cloth and pull it on themselves.
And don't take
And
pictures.
it's better to have children not sit on your lap when having dinner because you cannot know what can fall. So it's better for the kids to have a chair of their own, like a small chair for the children. And it's better when you're passing around hot liquids or soup, it's better to pass it over the person and around the person so there's no danger between getting burned or spilling on anything.
Hot liquids also includes like not to serve warm food safety on children. Like if you give out the food or the drinks, make sure it's not that hot so that if they spill it or something, they won't get burned.
Hard objects and presentation. There was the talk about the hard objects, the iron. You don't know when it's hot and when it's not hot. So even older people can like us can get burned with that iron. So you can read it.
And then with lamps and bulbs, it's better to have protection over them because children don't know, so they can touch it. And it's better not to have nightstands when being with children because they could tumble over and burn themselves.
Also the safe areas, that means like make sure you have it like instead of making your kids play in the kitchen, have a safe area for them, like their playing zone, so that they don't get into the kitchen while you're cooking or something else.
And that was very tricky because many homes in Santa Cruz are like monoambientes, like this room, they have like a kitchen there, the bedroom here, and like the living room right there, and they live in one room. So the kids, like, you cannot say like go to another room to play. We told them when they are cooking in the kitchen, just stay away of the oven, because what we call the kitchen was actually just a stove. So you should go to the living room, like a little farther from the kitchen, and be careful. Like we told them that they could get burned and that it was dangerous, and it was hard to tell them that because we couldn't tell like you should go like to another room because they can't. And electricity can burn your hands and mouth. Like I told you, we told them that electricity burns. Actually, much of them didn't know that electricity could actually burn them. And we also make sure that all the cords and wires are in good condition.
Because the thing about electricity, that it goes through one side and it has to get out from the other, so it can go through all your body and burn yourself all over. And sometimes, like the big issues, like the worst cases, you have to get your arm amputated or something because it's dead, so you cannot get it back.
And some of the tips we gave to avoid any contact with sockets was like put furniture, heavy furniture in front of them, and you can see that the kids are safe because they're playing on the sofa but not near the socket. Avoid burns with fire, hot, cold, and ashes. This was a very important part because, first of all, fireworks, and as members we use them a lot. So we told them that it's nothing they did that burned them with fireworks, but most of all that maybe a firework was like that from factory. We don't know. And most of the time, like I'm gonna tell you a personal experience. My little brother had one hand, like those two hold their hand and it goes up. And he thought that they were done, and he just like turned around, and the last firework just passed right next to me. And I was like, so another thing why this section was very hard because a common thing to do in Santa Cruz is like burn your trash. Like people go outside and burn the trash, and to extinguish the fire, like not fully extinguish it, they think they extinguish it but they don't. They just put sand on top of it, and it just looks like a mountain of sand. So the kids go and jump on it. You extinguish the top of the ashes, but not the bottom. It's still hot, and the time you step on it, you get your whole feet burned. So the thing,
So you have this, you have the embers, and what you have to do when you have the ashes when you finish burning, because it's a big issue with the leaves and stuff. So what you do is you put water on it so there's no danger with it because you cannot see the sand and you step on it. And it's better to burn not inside your home but outside and really away from it so there's no danger with the children. And you have to protect them, the braziers from the children so they cannot stumble upon it or run into it.
If they burn trash, not me saying that burning trash is correct because it's totally wrong, but it's not something we can change, or we can change step by step. But right now we just need to teach them how to be safe around it so we don't have even more consequences than it has been.
What should I do if I get burned? Take note. Have only cold water over the burned area. Remove clothes and then protect the area with a clean cloth. This means that whatever injury you have with burning that includes with fire and you burn yourself, first thing you should do is put the water in top and have it clean. Then put the towel or whatever you have in top like to maintain it. And next go to the nearest health post.
The results. We presented various workshops with the PowerPoint we showed you before in many like lunchrooms in different areas like rural areas and urban areas. And we presented these workshops to financially stressed kids and families. And they were very like attentive and paid attention. And actually that was what is incentivizing us to do more. We shared our knowledge with them and motivated them to teach their families. So that's why we gave them the brochure, so they can arrive home and teach their mom and dad or little sister and brother what to do and what not to do, their cousins or their niece. These are some of the kids we saw, and it was very nice place. Now, show you some pictures.
These are pictures that we took in our presentations, like at the end, in the centers we went to talk.
This was the first center we went to.
It was very nice, and we became friends with some of the kids, and they were very nice and open to us. And most of the kids that attend this lunchrooms are 3 years old and on. And here are some of the kids. These kids go Matias and Diego. So we presented, and while they ate, some of them are still eating. Oh, there's in Spanish, sorry. We explained to them our PowerPoint like in very clear way and like amigable. I don't know. Ameno means like, I don't know if you know what I mean. Like very soft. Many were not aware of the magnitude of burns. Some of them knew, and we asked them how many of them have gotten burned, and we are asking back to you now. How many of you have ever gotten any burns?
Like personal experience.
You wanna not tell?
Does someone want to tell theirs? Good. Go ahead.
When I was a young child at the beach, I was playing and we had a grill going and I backed into it and fell over it and burned the back of my legs.
It's like,
So I was very young, but I remember it very
What did
clearly.
you do after that?
Pain.
I was real young, but I remember it. And I remember a friend of the family's picking me up right away and putting me in the water. And then I had, obviously,
Yeah.
and then I went to the hospital, but I don't remember all that. I mean, I was probably 3 or 4, but it was one of those things you remember when you're 3 or 4,
when
because it's so traumatic.
I was 7, I got burned in my arm here. Smell. Doesn't seem because I got the proper treatment. I was playing with some friends and I was like touching the ceiling because it was very low. And one of the light bulbs like hit my arm and like got a horrible thing right here. And I remember it well, and so as you can see, many of the things that when you get burned are like common things you do like every day, and they're not like very different from what you do every day. It's like bad luck and you get burned, but you could be like conscious of what would get burned. I had no idea the light bulb was so hot, so I don't even remember why I touched it.
Anyone else wants to share something?
That's it? Go on.
We
And-
asked some questions.
And so the the kids were very participating and they wanted to answer and they knew some stuff, so it was easier for us to communicate with them because they knew the answers and they wanted to participate and know more about the subject.
And we got our answers. And most of the kids wanted to participate, like you see the smaller kids are in front, and it was encouraging to see how happy and how interactive they were, and we asked them and they responded. A lot of them knew, and it was very nice. After our presentation, we did like some reinforcement
So we took
activities.
big posters and color pencils so they could draw what they had learned and what they had to know.
So in a minute we're going to show you some examples of what some kids
I really like this because everyone participated, like everyone got involved in this. We thought it was gonna be difficult, but actually they started painting everything and we got really surprised because it was actually really good.
We noticed that they actually learned what we had taught them, and it was really nice to see how they perceived it and that they were most likely would use it in their life. Here.
So we also gave us a smaller version of the poster, like in a pamphlet, so they could take home as well. So they could put it on their fridge, or when you have something home, you can pass it around and it rotates, so a lot of the family gets knowledge about it.
This is one of the drawings, and she like put the boiling water, the brasas, and the oven, and this one is our favorite because we put it the plancha.
You draw like one thing of everything.
Every slide we showed,
Mhm.
it was here. And this was our first presentation to the first workshop, and was
And then we proceeded to go onto different ones and show them the same. As you can see, we get bigger kids and smaller kids, and it varies. It varies from ages like 3 to 12 years old.
we in this when we actually played with them, and after the presentation, 2008, we had like
As you can see, we're presenting there. There were like a lot of kids in that room, a lot of kids. And it actually went good too because there were from ages 3 to 15 there, like 15 years old. And they paid a lot of attention, so that made little kids pay a lot of attention too.
So in this center we had like a lot more kids than we were used to. So in the first one we had like 50, and now the number doubled up. So it was a challenge.
I think it was good that the older kids came, since most of them have younger siblings, and they are the ones who take care of the siblings because their parents like work all day, so they are the ones like raise younger. So
It was like the same activity. We asked them questions: who got burned, who had younger siblings, what if they knew what could cause the burn, and how, and what to do if they got burned.
And we also gave like little backpacks, like so they can remember everything.
as an incentive, but actually, I think if we wouldn't have given those backpacks, the kids would have participated.
Yeah.
And it was a very good topic for this lunchroom because they serve them hot meals, and so
And we went to lunchtime, so they knew like a lot of.
and they actually read and like actually thought and looked at the paper. There's a picture of the girl reading and some little boys that are like sharing their thoughts about it.
It was
Reading
nice because
together.
they got the information and they liked it, so it was something interesting for them to know.
We also had some mothers in the room in the second center. Like we got like 10 mothers that they were hearing and everything, and we love that because the mothers are the one that have to take care of the little kids. So if they know, it's better for them.
So
like we don't want to stop now. We want to go back, and we'll go back to Santa Cruz Bodega and prepare more talks to the children and presentations. We will go to a lot more conferences with a lot more kids, like 120 and 160 kids.
And this is some of the collaborators and homes that we're gonna go, and we're looking forward to it.
So we're not gonna stop because we think this is actually really helpful for them and for our society.
And so, how we said in the video, prevention is action.
Prevention is safety.
Prevention is life.
Thank you very much for all your.
You get right in there, I'll take a picture with you guys.